Well, hello and welcome everyone to the Supply Chain Innovators Show. I'm excited today to be joined by Peel Chronister. He is the head of warehouse and logistics at Outdoor Cap Company, and Peel's supply chain career spans over 20 years in progressive leadership across manufacturing, distribution, and customer experience. He's a USA Army veteran and Bronze Star recipient. And thank you for your service, Peel. And he's a 1985 Peach Bowl defensive MVP. He has a track record of driving results through
Yeah, carry it
strategic.
forward. Carry it forward.
He has a track record of driving results through strategic initiatives in transportation, international logistics, warehouse operations, and team development. And he has a mission first mindset. That's what I really like about you, Peel. Operational discipline and collaborative leadership style. He understands the value of personal and leadership development, as we talked about earlier, in building high performance teams. His focus on continuous improvement, clear communications, and aligning operations with customer expectations has led to long-term client relationships like Major League Youth Baseball. So I'm super excited to have him on the show today to talk about product quality and speed to market, plus the importance of locking in correct partnerships like warehousing and fulfillment. So welcome, Peel. How are you today? Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, I'm doing great. So thank you for having me on and looking forward to the conversation we're about to have. So thank you for having me.
Yes, and again, thank you for your service. We love having veterans on our show. And so when you were in the Peach Bowl and you got the defensive MVP, you were a strong safety. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we like to say, our motto back then was pride, poise, team, right? Always take pride in what you do, have poise as you're doing it, and always be focused on the team. So pride, poise, team. That's a shout out to Coach Young.
Amen. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, former athlete myself, and you and I were talking. I was a defensive specialist, and so I understand that and totally respect and honor that. So, but glad to have you here with us today. And let's get started. So, can you give our audience a little bit of background as to what inspired you to go into this field?
Yeah, so my journey into logistics started when I was transitioning out of the military. So we did as you're thinking about transitioning out of the military, you do a lot of reading because you don't know what career path, right, as you're looking to make that transition. So I did a lot of reading, and I really wanted a career where I could use the discipline, the planning, and leadership skills that I had developed along the way, and then also to look on to take on new challenges. So, like I said, I was reading a lot of books, trying to figure out, okay, what direction. And so at that time, I read Peter Drucker's Managing for the Future. And his ideas about knowledge, flexibility, managing complexity really resonated with me, right? It struck a chord. And so it made me realize logistics isn't just about moving goods, it's about building systems, leading teams, and developing others to thrive in a constantly challenging world. So that kind of the combination of my military background and really Drucker's insights gave me a clear purpose in which direction I wanted to go. And so yeah, to me, just want to make an impact by solving complex problems. I want to grow, I wanted to grow people and help companies really deliver an exceptional customer experience. So that's really, yeah, that's how I got into it.
Wow. That's it's I remember some of the books I used to read long ago and they were foundational in the direction that I went. And so I think that's really awesome that you transcended from the military and you found that right fit and you took those skills with you moving forward. So what are some of the trends you're seeing in customer experience, manufacturing, and distribution today?
Yeah, so I'd say one big trend we're seeing, obviously, the customer experience. There's a rising expectation that's going on. So customers want high quality products. They want plenty of options. So for us, it's like, what decoration do you want? Where do you want it? All those things. So, and then really, they want a seamless buying process. How quickly, they're okay. They're going to ask you, how easy is it to do business with you? How quickly and accurately can you deliver it? Is it on time? Did I get what I was supposed to get? So those are the expectations pushing companies like ours to really rethink about processes and invest in technology that ensures that smooth, positive experience from the start of the journey to the finish of that journey. And so I would say that's really one big trend. The other one, I would say, from a distribution side, is the efficiency and accuracy are critical, right? It's just not about moving headwear. It's really about being consistent at it and then scaling it. So we have seasonal demands, we have retailer compliance requirements. That makes flexibility essential. So at Outdoor Cap, we're leading the way by combining technology and streamlined processes to deliver on those expectations every time, because that's the expectation.
No, I look at stats today, and customer experience is the top, especially when you have, a retail or e-commerce pathway. The expectations are there. I mean, let's talk about the Amazon effect, for instance,
Yeah, I mean, e-commerce,
expecting.
that's not yeah, it's not a big item that we do because we're really a wholesaler and we're
Right.
going business to business a lot of times. We do some e-com for Amazon, we
Mhm.
do some for Walmart, and so we're starting our own as well. So we're getting into our own B2C as well. So,
Mhm.
yeah, the expectations of Amazon drove it, right? How quickly can I get it to the customer? Speed to market. That's for
Yeah, and
sure.
and then you're representing the brands that you're working with, the labeling, and so you are representing them ultimately to hit the customer. So it does matter that your clients are happy so that their customers are happy. So what do you think are two or three of the biggest challenges facing manufacturers and e-commerce brands today?
Yeah, so I'd say the first big challenge is supply chain volatility and the visibility. So since COVID, I mean, it used to be pretty static before COVID, and then it's been chaos. There's been global disruptions. You have I want to say 2022, maybe 23. Transportation costs went through the roof, and there's also geopolitical uncertainty, right? So we're in countries like Bangladesh and Vietnam and China. Those are some of the origins we're coming out of. So you have some geopolitical uncertainty there as well. And it's tough for brands to keep inventory, right? It's a steady flow of inventory. You need it to meet and exceed the customer expectations. So I'd say that's one big challenge. And then with COVID, again, secondly, there's labor shortages. And then, that we struggled, right, to find the right people, find skilled workers, and then keeping them is a struggle, right? So especially in manufacturing and logistics. At least that's that I've felt. So, and then I would say a third thing is social compliance. We're seeing a lot of that with our major retailers, and the end user as well. They want to make sure that you're being transparent and that you're using ethical sourcing, right? So we want to make sure we're being ethical about where we're sourcing our product. Customers are asking, "Hey, where's my fabric made? Are workers being treated fairly?" And so it's not just about avoiding the penalties that are clients. It's really about protecting your brand. So I would say those are the three challenges that we're faced with, and so that's what we're trying to overcome.
So how would you recommend companies overcome these challenges? How can they overcome those challenges?
Sure, for probably the supply chain volatility, it's companies I think all companies, most companies will need real time data, and then you need some analytics that will anticipate those disruptions, and then you need to be able to react on that quickly. So I think investing in technology that provides that end to end visibility helps with that volatility. We currently use EDI APIs that track updates within our current ERP. But boy, that's not even enough for where we're at. So advanced tracking systems and integrated planning tools, that's just a must. And then I would say for labor shortages, it's all about engagement, empowering people. Leaders need to be focused. My leadership team needs to be focused on creating a culture where team members feel valued and supported. That means training programs. What am I doing for your development, right? So how much time am I spending on developing future leaders? How do you create the tools that make their jobs easier? For example, we've just implemented voice-directed technology in our operations. That improves our accuracy and speed to market, while also making our work more intuitive for our team. So those things are, I think, really important. I didn't touch on social compliance, but transparency is key there. We do audits with our supply chain. We partner with ethical suppliers, So it's not just about meeting those regulations. It's about building trust with the customer. They need to know that, you know what, we're ethical in how we go about and sourcing our product. So those are the challenges and obstacles that we face. They're opportunities. And then companies that embrace that technology, you gotta invest in the people, and then lead with integrity. Those will ultimately help you overcome those challenges and you know what, set the standard for the future.
Exactly. That's such a recipe for success to have those pieces and parts together because it's sort of like letting the customer have an insight into your company, that transparency. And it only builds trust. And that's why you have long-term relationships, client relationships like you've had. So good on you guys for that and continue, right? Um, so you and I
Yeah.
discussed the significance of partnerships and streamlining operations. How have key partnerships benefited Outdoor Cap Company?
Partnerships have been a game changer for AltraCap. You know, I go back, we have long-term relationships, um, and they're game changers, right? Especially in distribution. A great example is our relationship with Night Swift warehousing and fulfillment. And now we primarily use them for cross-dock operations, which has dramatically improved my speed to market, right? So I got to have the product. I got to have it on time. And so their team has been exceptional to work with. It's reduced our handling time. And so, yeah, so, you know, it goes beyond just the cross-docking too, right? So they have the ability to we have custom product coming in. And that custom product a lot of times has very short lead times. I got to get to, you know, whether kids playing on a ball field, right? And if he doesn't have those hats, well, that's going to be a problem. So, yeah, Night Swift, they trap our custom product and then they ship it direct to our customer. And that elevates our service levels for those accounts. Now, this capability means we can meet unique customer needs without adding any complexity in our own facilities, right? And then I ensure accuracy and efficiency. So it's great. It's been a great relationship. I mean, the real value is flexibility and scalability as well. Like Swift Logistics, they have the expertise that allows us to adapt quickly to changing demand and deliver a better experience for our customers. No doubt, right? So partnerships like Night Swift just don't move our headwear. They help us move faster, smarter, have greater precision. And that's how we keep our customers happy. That's the name of the game. Keep those customers happy, speed to market. We stay competitive in today's market.
That's right. And I love working with Night Swift warehousing and fulfillment that because of that agility, because they are experienced at scaling up, they're very agile. They can move with what you need. And that is so important. As we mentioned earlier, is you've got to be able to adjust and stay on your toes and keep all these other plates spinning. And they do such a great job. They've been in business almost as long as you guys have. What, 45 years? How long is that? How long you've been in
Yeah, a
business?
little over 40, yeah, 45, 47 years for us. Yeah, I would say the other thing is, you know, we just recently have some things that are going on with one of our major retailers. And yeah, I just reached out to Night Swift on, I've got to do some things quickly and I've got to adapt to a current situation I'm having. And they're so flexible, right? They're just willing to do what I need them to do. Yeah, the service level has just been great. And I would say those partnerships are really, really key.
That's excellent. Thanks. That's great feedback. So what's on the horizon right now for you guys at Outdoor Cap Company?
Yeah, for us, we're going to continue to invest in technology that better supports our team members, right? So we want to make sure that they have the tools. You want to enable those, right? You want to engage, enable those team members who are serving the customers, because ultimately, you know, that's how we continue to meet expectation, exceed expectations with our customers. So our mission is to be the best when it comes to customer experience, and that's speed to market. So it's all about staying ahead and delivering that value for our customer.
That's awesome. And we always ask our guests this final question. What would you say as a final bit of advice for our friends out there listening or watching today?
Um, my final words of advice would be, hey, first, engage your teams and your network. Success is never a solo act, right? So surround yourself with people who challenge you, support you, and then help you grow. And then I would say enable and empower others. You know, give your team the tools, the training, trust that they give them the trust that they need to succeed. Give them some guardrails, right? Don't let them, right? You got to give them some guardrails here and there. You want people to feel valued and equipped, and that's when they're going to deliver their best work, and that drives results. So finally, never stop learning. The market changes really, really fast. It's a crazy world, and when you stay curious and open, you will stay ahead, and so will your organization. So I would say those are my words of advice for today.
I love it. I've always believed that we always be a student, always be a student and never stop learning and growing. And what you sow into people, when you sow really good seeds and you do it for the right reasons to help them grow, you will always reap a harvest. The company will, you will, they will. Because how many times have you brought people uphill and they've surpassed levels in their career, that you were talking
It's
about?
always exciting to see team members that you've worked with, that you had a hand in maybe guiding and developing, right? So I don't have all the tools, so making sure if I'm not the right mentor, making sure you identify who the right mentor is for that person to really, continue to succeed and challenge their growth. Because I'm not always the right, I'll say I'm not always the right tool. And so somebody else might be. So always be looking for that too, right? How do you challenge the person? Okay, you need to go meet with Sally because you know what, Sally's really good at this and I'm not.
That's excellent. Yeah, I worked at Accenture a long time ago and I was on the HR side of things and I saw that need within the organization for mentorship. So we created a mentorship program that was really more of was hands-on and they met monthly, but they also met by yearly, just to keep people on point and the care that they got. There was a great book that I read a long time ago called The Radical Leap. LEAP it's an acronym. It means love, energy, audacity, and proof. And when I read it at first, I'm like, how do I start talking about love in business? It's like, what? But it's care for your people. And that mentorship program just exceeded our wildest expectations. We kept good talent. We saw people really engaging and giving their all. And so I think that environment you're creating at Outdoor Cap Company, and I'll say also a shout out to Night Swift Warehousing and Fulfillment. They're the same way. They have such an awesome culture. And everyone, if you go to the warehouses, they're truly high-fiving, like just they get along. Everyone's working, everything's very organized because it's like they care about each department cares about the other. And when you can create that environment, amazing things can happen.
Yeah, I agree. So when I visited, so we're out west, right at the Santa Fe facility, and I get out there and visit. I have a third party logistics manager as well. So we go in there and visit Chime, who's the GM, right? So the general manager he's running the operation. Yeah, the team is so welcoming. We actually stole some stuff when they were doing their safety, right? So they've got a really great safety record too. So I say steal. I was. What's the better word than steal? I was. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm impassioned to go and replicate and duplicate a little bit of what they're doing with our safety program as well. So yeah, it's awesome. They're a great team. Great
That's
team
so
out of
great
Santa
to
Fe.
hear. Well, Peel, I enjoyed having you here with us today and would love for you to come back another time.
Certainly love to do it again. It's a pleasure talking with you today, and yeah, let's keep the partnership going.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this episode today. Thanks for watching or listening, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Take care.